Hey everyone, welcome back to Immediate Movie Reactions. I am here with my 200th video. I can't believe 200. I can't believe that I've been able to do it this long. I do appreciate everyone. I'm not going to get into all of the standard YouTube stuff, but really, I keep doing this because people seem to be interested, and I appreciate all the feedback and comment and views and all of that. So, what am I doing? I'm going to do my top 10 favorite movies, and this is a really difficult list. I have thought about doing this video for a very long time, and it's just it's nearly impossible to nail this down to 10. And I'm not going to do a lot of the cheesy, what should have been here or anything like that. Though there are going to have to be some honorable mentions and some I guess major omissions. um, there's no Mad Max movies on this list. There are no Spider-Man movies on this list. Maybe I need to do a top 10 favorite series or something. I'm also not going to really put, well, I guess you'll see what I do here. I think Conan could have been on this list. Lost Boys, Spring, Summer, Fall, Winter, and Spring, which is a movie that I absolutely love, but I haven't seen it more than the couple of times when it first came out. Kim Hee Duk, I believe, is the um, director of that film, and there are scenes in it that still 20 plus years later just stick with me. There are movies like League of Their Own, which I could watch anytime that it's on, and I freaking love. Moulin Rouge, another movie that I absolutely love, and I just thought I didn't put on this list, and I probably should have, but I don't know at this point what I would have taken this off or what I would have taken off the list. There are no animated movies on this, even though there are a couple that I think are in my top 10 favorite. I'm going to have to do a top 10 favorite animated films. So, anyways, to avoid getting too cheesy and too sentimental, too nostalgic about this, I'm going to go through what are my favorite. I don't think these are the greatest films. Well, I don't know. I guess they are, right? They are some of the greatest films of all time. But you're not going to see your Godfathers or anything on that because those aren't movies that are my personal favorites. So this isn't any indictment on any other movie. These are just the movies that I felt like I couldn't take off the list. And so here we are. We're going to start out with number 10, and it's Napoleon Dynamite. I did it. I did it. And coming up with this list, this is one that I kept thinking I should probably cut it. But the honest truth is that I freaking love this movie. I can watch it again and again. Uh, it's a movie that continues to make me laugh. It's a movie that I've been to viewings with stars of the movie, a presentation, and they just made me love the movie even more. John Heder, I don't know why he didn't really take off, um, even though he did kind of just play the same thing over and over again. And if you don't like that, then it's not going to be for you. But this movie came out in 2004, and I have seen it hundreds of times. I watch it, it's like my sick day movie. If I don't know what else to put on, I could put this movie on and still love it, still laugh at it. I think it is a special movie, and just what it did, 46 million, for a movie that really shouldn't have gone anywhere. Absolutely, the icon that it is. So there we are at number 10. I went with Napoleon Dynamite. And number 9, this is another movie that went up and down on my list. Predator. From the very first moment, even though the trailers, I thought it was some sort of, Cro-Magnon Paleolithic man or something like that, some monster. This is a movie that has just sparked imagination, and I've watched over and over again. And even though people totally misquote the "get to the choppa" line, I think that this is one that is quotable. It's brilliant. It's fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's stupid. Like, it is stupid. It doesn't make any sense. I love that the Predator has become a thing. But yeah, I mean, this is a movie that from my childhood, so 1987, I would have been 12 when this movie came out, and I could still watch it again today. John McTiernan just does an amazing job with this. And for me, you know, as a young man from where I am, Arnold Schwarzenegger was the epitome of the movie star, and I think that this was my favorite of his movies. Wow, Predator! I kept it on the list. Crazy. All right, we are going to go with City of Lost Children. This is a French film directed by Marc Caro and Jean-Pierre Jeunet, and released in 1995. And a movie that has always stuck with me from the very first moment. I just I loved this. That opening scene with all the Santa Claus, true story. My wife now, my girlfriend at the time, to show her the movies that I loved, we had gone to Blockbuster and rented, 6, 8 movies, whatever it was. We started with City of Lost Children, and the first 10 minutes was her basically saying, "What the fuck? What the fuck? What is happening? What is happening?" And I couldn't. There's no way to explain really what's happening. This movie has really stuck in the visuals. It's absolutely beautiful. It's stuck with me. My favorite cat that I've ever had of all time, his name is Miette, and she was named after the young girl in this film. I was shocked when I saw that this only grossed 1.8 million, but I guess I can see that this was definitely not a commercial success, but just such a beautiful movie. And Krull and Jeunet, the stuff that they go on to make, even though their Aliens is, I think it was Alien 4, was kind of terrible. That visual, just again, the style is absolutely amazing. This is one that is worth trying to track down and see if you have not seen it. From there, I'm going to go to The Matrix. And I can't believe that we are way down on the list with Matrix. There was a time when this was clearly my one or two, right? This was a movie that, even above Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, there's no Lord of the Rings on this list, spoiler alert. Um, but this was a movie that I watched over and over again. I remember seeing this on the same day as the Disney Tarzan. Just absolutely amazing. Directed by the Wachowskis, who were trying to create a superhero film and needed a way to explain how you could have a superhero. And so that's where Neo was created. Now, I'm going to defend the second two movies a little bit here. I don't think they're awful. The fourth one, god awful, really, really terrible. I don't understand what the hell they were doing with Resurrections. But the first movie, I think, unfortunately, kind of what happened was it got too serious, it got too full of itself, and they kind of lost track of where they were. But this is an iconic, beautiful, amazing film. I know it's completely overacted. I know it's cheesy. I know it's too serious. But for what it did, and one of my favorite films that didn't make this list, Kung Fu Panda, I believe, is really just The Matrix, right? So anyway, that's a weird conspiracy theory that I have. I'm going to move on to my next one, but I think that this movie absolutely is the pinnacle of action films and CGI and what you can do with movies now. Anyways, next film, Neverending Story. I remember being at a friend's house, and it was, like an aunt, it was a friend, you know how that goes. And they kind of needed to entertain me. And you should show him the never ending story. I don't know, will he like it? Yeah, of course, he's a space cadet. He'll love this movie, right? And they were right. I love this movie. I freaking love the song. Even now today, the song gets stuck in my head. I am not going to sing it because I know everybody will immediately turn this off, and I will probably be kicked off, right? They will not let me make any more videos. But anyways, this is a Wolfgang Peterson that is based on, a book turned into a movie, but it's a kid watching. Anyway, hopefully you know the story. It's Jim Henson at their absolute peak. Movie came out in 1984. Oh my God, I would have been 9 years old when I first saw this movie. And again, this is one that I show my kids. This is one that even if my kids aren't around, I will sit and watch. And Labyrinth could have been here. Absolutely, Labyrinth should have probably been here. But of the two, I went with Neverending Story. And please, if you haven't seen it, treat yourself. Go watch this movie. Leon the Professional, again, along with Matrix. This, for many, many, many years, could have been one or two easily. This is a movie by Luc Besson. It's the introduction of Matilda, and I am totally blanking on her name right now. So I'm going to move on, and hopefully it'll come to me. But Jean Reno, Natalie Portman, it's right there on the screen. I'm a dummy. I'm sorry. So anyway, Gary Oldman, which, by the way, that scene when he says everyone, right? That was supposed to be a meme. That was a joke. That was something he was doing just to mess with Luc Besson, because they were doing on film and he wanted to make him laugh. And this is a movie that I think was potentially misleading in the advertising, right? I thought that this was going to be a really just a violent action film with this hitman going out and killing people. in just bloody, gory ways, and that's not what this film is about. I know many people have trouble with the relationship between Matilda and Luc Besson, um, but it's not really it's not about that. That's not what this film is about. And I do recommend going, if you get a chance, see the international version, Leon the Professional. Don't see the American. It's fine. The theatrical release is absolutely fine. It was my favorite movie. There are small things about the way that this is filmed, the family that you see, where it's always talking about, showing, not telling, right? And how do we show the neglect, and how do we show the poverty? It's because the kids have drawn all over the walls. It's the way the the girl is doing the Jane Austen exercise video, whatever the hell it is, while the boy is kind of out on his own, and Matilda is forgotten about while the parents are having sex in the bathroom, right? It's all that sort of thing. And is life always this hard, or just when you're a kid always like this, right? It's an absolutely amazing film. Leon is an iconic character. Um, if you do watch The Femme Nikita, which is also a Luc Besson film, I think that this movie makes a little more sense as you see sort of a continuation of the story. Just Danny Aiello. Everybody in this movie is absolutely amazing. I think this is a great movie. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to move on to one where I kind of cheated a little bit. And the next one is Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. And I know it's two movies. I don't know how you separate these two movies. This is the only MCU movie that I have on here, or series, or whatever duo of movies, because I can't watch Infinity War without watching Endgame, and I can't. I guess if I had to pick between the two, do we look at the scene of Infinity War when everybody is snapped away and the emotion there, or do we look at the feelings of Endgame when Black Widow dies, or when everybody comes back, right on your left, right when Captain America stands up and he's got the broken shield and he's got Mjolnir, and the portal starts to open and you hear the crackle, and I still get misty, right? I still get misty. I love this movie. I love the two. I know that it's a cheat. I'm really sorry about that. But there was no way for me to separate these two, and there's no way that I couldn't have an MCU on here. And this is how I'm sneaking my Spider-Man into it. So, anyways, the next one here we're going to go with is The Empire Strikes Back. Now, this could be Return of the Jedi. I am not one of those guys that's like, oh, stupid Ewoks, and Return of the Jedi is so cheesy. Yeah, it's cheesy. It's freaking Star Wars, right? It is Star Wars. It's amazing. It's fun. It's kind of for kids, right? It's kind of young. It's not deep, hard hitting sci fi or anything like that. This is laser sword fights and star battles and all sorts of, big hairy creatures walking around. This is crazy, but this has everything that you want out of a Star Wars series. And I know everybody's going to tell you that the Empire is the best one, and it's true. I think it is absolutely true. Kirshner does an amazing job of showing how the rebels are kind of on the edge and able to fight it back. I think that this is my favorite because it does. Separate, it deviates a little bit from the just blow up the Death Star at the end. I think that this is an amazing movie that is that perfect step between one and three, and it elevates the story. Again, it's iconic. No, I am your father. Like, that's absolutely right, classic of cinema. So anyway, and I don't mind the re-releases. I will tell you right now, I really don't mind. I think they did some really good things with them, things that they wanted to do and just couldn't. I think maybe it takes away some of the magic, but this is still an amazing movie that I could watch out of the series, just on its own. All right, here we go. Number two, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, 2000. This was a movie that just from the very first seconds absolutely blew me away. A Wuxia film directed by Ang Lee. Um, Chow Yun Fat, Michelle Yeoh. Michelle Yeoh is just in some of my favorite movies, obviously, right? Top 10 movies. This movie actually did super well, even though it didn't do very well in China. And that's because it was filmed in a dialect that um, isn't a massive dialect over there, right? So it's something that even in China they needed subtitles, and so it didn't do exceptionally well. And also, Western audience didn't really know the wuxia genre, right? So for us, it was something new. It was something exciting. It wasn't something that was new or exciting over, in the East and in China and that sort of thing. Still remarkably successful. The scenes with them flying and the sword fights, the Green Destiny, everything about this movie, it's just absolutely beautiful. The music, who the composer, I am blanking on his name right now, and I feel really bad. But again, when I sit down to read or write or whatever, this is definitely music that I still put on. This is a movie that I could watch over and over and over again. I do think that you need to watch it with the subtitles on, because when you hear Chow Yun Fat when he speaks, and he's got that sort of lisp that he puts into it, which is a way of speaking, a dialect, an accent that would have been used by the fighters of that time. Absolutely brilliant, beautiful movie. Ji Zhang, I thought was going to be much bigger over here than she was. She wasn't one of the Rush Hour movies, three, I think it was, but unfortunately, kind of disappeared from there. I don't know what happened to Chow Yun Fat. I haven't seen anything with him in a long time. Bulletproof Monk kind of, I think, ruined things for him, which is unfortunate. But if you get a chance to go back and watch like Hard Boiled and that sort of thing, brilliant movie. But anyways, if you haven't seen this, please see it, please, and let me know what you think. All right, my top 10 movies are now. This is the number one. This is it. This is my favorite. This is the one that I had no debate about what it was going to be. Actually, it could have been Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but number one is Everything Everywhere All at Once. This is the greatest movie that I have ever seen. I love this movie. I saw this movie 20 plus times in the theaters. Um, it holds a special place in my heart. I'm not going to get sentimental here. My sister reminds me so much of Joy, and unfortunately, we lost her just before this movie came out. So watching this, I saw my sister up on the screen, so I know that that's what really strikes for me. But the visuals, the fact that they could bring Ke Huy Quan back. Even though, unfortunately, it looks like his career is not going to sustain. Again, Michelle Yeoh just at the peak, at the top of her career. The silliness, the zaniness. I know that people don't really love that. Um, there are people who hate this movie, and I get it. I understand it. My friends that hate this movie, I know that we disagree on this, but this is my all-time favorite list. Everything, all, everywhere, all at once is number one without any sort of debate. I think, yeah, absolutely brilliant film. All right. I need to thank you all again. I thank you for watching and for sticking through this. 200 videos, however many you have watched, one or even part of one or whatever it is. All the support really helps. And yeah, there we are. I guess I got to do it. Hit like, share, subscribe, all that sort of thing, right? I'm really terrible about that, but I do appreciate you all. And I'll be back to the movies here very soon.